The name is Sydney Huffman. Nice to meet you. Now this is the point in the video already where most YouTubers would run some fancy stupid intro with even more stupid music. They'd tell you their life story, they'd beg you to subscribe. I know you don't care who I am, and I don't care if you subscribe. So I'm not going to waste your time like that. I'm going to waste your time in much better ways. Now before I get started, just right off the bat, because I don't want to have to see stupid complaints about it, it is windy outside the studio today. And yes, this is now a studio. I have successfully converted my basement crawl space into a studio, but it is windy outside. Somebody must have really angered Xenu because he's blowing the wind like crazy. So if you hear banging around or cats blowing down the street or trash cans banging, you don't need to post a comment letting me know about it. Trust me, I can hear it. Hopefully you won't hear it, but if you do, keep your stupid comments to yourself. Today I'm going to be doing a review of the brand new to the market, just shipping this week. Of course, I'm one of the first to get one. Wouxun Ocean, pronounced Ocean, spelled Wouxun, pronounced Ocean. Wouxun KG-UV9G radio. I'll be going over some of the features, why you may or may not choose to get this radio. It's got a lot of features, lots of features. So I've got my notes today. So if you see me looking down, that's me reading my notes because I don't want to forget something and leave you, the viewer, uninformed. God forbid. The KG-UV9G comes in a Pro and a LITE version. I'll explain the differences. I have the LITE version, but they're basically the identical radios with just some different features. I'll go over the differences. The price is $169 for the Pro, $149 for the LITE version. Available only from bettersaferadio.com. On sale now. Not shipping yet. Some are shipping. It's really popular radio. All these GMRS radios have been getting really popular. If you go to buy one at bettersaferadio.com and it's sold out, pre-order it. Because if you wait for it to not be sold out, everybody else that pre-ordered it will get theirs, and when you go back, it will be sold out again. Pre-order it. Don't miss out. Affiliate link below directly to the KG-UV9G page, so you can see the specs or purchase one. If you use the coupon code NOTARUBICON at checkout, you'll get an additional discount. I did buy this KG-UV9G. Is that right? KG-UV9G. I bought it with my own money. My hard-earned money that I earned by asking my wife to use her credit card. They did not send this to me for free. So all these opinions, you know, are real opinions. And if this radio sucks, you know I'll tell you. I've done it before. I'll do it again. I'm not going to do an unboxing. If you watch my videos, you know my feelings on unboxings. I'm going to show you what's in the box so you know what you're going to get when you purchase it. I'll go over the features that got my attention, that interested me. Way too many to go over everything. I've only had this for a couple of days now, so I haven't had the chance to go out off-roading and actually play with it, but I played with it in the house and around the house, so I've got a good idea of how it works. I do want to keep this video short, and seriously, if I went over every feature, this video would never end. This radio's got a lot of features. The KG-UV9G is an FCC Part 95E compliant GMRS handheld radio that can transmit up to 5.5 watts. You do need a GMRS license to transmit on this radio. You can listen to it and listen to whatever you want without any license, but if you're going to transmit on it, you'd better have a license. Now, there is no test to get a GMRS license. It's like buying a fishing license, people. Some people have said if you've been to the FCC website, it's harder to find your way around that stupid FCC website. It's harder to do that, some people say, than it is to take the ham radio license test. The GMRS license is different from ham license. Ham license, you need a test. GMRS license, you just need to figure out how to get around the stupid FCC website. And because I've gotten so many questions from so many people, comments, emails, calling me up in the middle of the night asking me, how do I get my GMRS license on this stupid FCC website? I've put together a step-by-step guide of how to get your FCC license, what buttons to click, what to type in. I posted that on the notarubicon.com website. You can see the link right there. And also, before I actually get started with the video, I will be giving away this particular radio. We're giving it away for free as a prize at our next off-roading event, which we hope will be in the next couple of months. So that's going to put it in April or May of 2021. If you're in the Southern California area, and you like to do off-roading, we like to have a few big off-road events a couple of times a year. We haven't had many in the last year because of this plague. I don't want to say it out loud, talk about it too much because I don't want YouTube to demonetize me. You can sign up at the website, put your email address in, and we will send you a notification with all the details of that event if you would like to join and try to win this radio as well as several other radios that we'll be giving away. It's not a mailing list or anything like that. It's just so that when we have our public events, you will get an email. It's not a mailing list. I don't like mailing lists, but it is a list of emails that we will send out to people when we have a public event. So when you buy your KG-UV9G and you open the box, you will receive a warranty card. Warranty is good for 12 months on the radio itself. I believe it is 6 months on the battery and some of the other accessories. You will receive this very well-written little handout booklet. And the very first thing it says is pretty much, you'd better get your GMRS license before you use this radio. It also has some quick start guides. This radio is not a simple radio to use. So it's got some quick step guides to get you going in the right direction. This radio is marketed toward preppers for when shit hits the fan. SHTF. When things go bad, the grid goes down, grocery store runs out of toilet paper. The preppers, they're going to be ready. And this goes over a lot of the features specific to prepping and emergency communications, channel listings, what they're used for, a lot of helpful information. You will receive a user guide. Now, we are going to talk more about this user guide because I think this user guide was written by a flunky in China that barely knew how to speak Chinese, much less English. We'll talk about it. You will also receive a charger for charging your new KG-UV9G radio. I've talked about chargers before, how some have only 2 pins, some have 3 pins so that the charger can sense the temperature in the battery. This one has 4 pins. They took it to 4. Not only does it sense the temperature, it also does trickle charging. So it charges fast at first, and then when it gets up to a certain point, it slows down the charge. That should make the battery last longer. You will receive a power adapter for the charger. You will receive this handsome wrist strap. You will receive a belt clip, which affixes to the radio. You will receive a little baggie with 2 screws to connect said belt clip to the radio. You will receive a dual band GMRS antenna. You will receive a 3200 milliamp hour battery. And the reason you came, you will get the KG-UV9G handheld GMRS walkie-talkie. The battery inserts cleanly and neatly into the radio. First question everybody asks is, how far can you talk on it? I did my worst case scenario test that I've been doing on radios, all the radios that I review lately. That's the worst case. I used to do the best case scenario testing, but everybody whined about that because where I live, I can get line of sight for 30 miles. Most people can't get that. And honestly, when you're out off-roading or doing whatever, it's very rare that you would be using the radio in best case scenarios. So that's on me. It was kind of dumb for me to do best case scenarios. But it sounds better to say, oh, you can talk 40 miles on it, even though in reality, you'd never talk 40 miles on it. So my worst case scenario, I was able to talk just over 1 mile at the high output setting, just like all the other GMRS radios. There's no advantage to this. I've never found an advantage to any of the radios, distance-wise, really between them. They're all standard GMRS radios. They all have about the same distance. This one falls right in there. I am able to easily hit my 2 favorite repeaters nearby. One is 30 miles away. The other one is 69 miles away. Can talk on them both, no problem, loud and clear. There are 2 versions of this radio, the LITE version and the PRO version. This is the LITE version. It looks exactly like the PRO version. You would not know the difference by looking at it. The only difference is that on some channels, channels 1 through 7, it doesn't do high power on the LITE version. As far as I understand, everything else is pretty much exactly the same. There are a couple of other features, though. One feature in particular that you get in the LITE version that you cannot get in the PRO version, and that, let me show you this. You got to put the antenna on. Antenna screws right on. Feature that you get on the LITE version that you do not get on the Pro. I don't know if you heard that. The Roger beep. Roger beep is included. You get that in the LITE version. If you turn it on, it's off by default. If you get the LITE version, make sure the first thing you do, any radio that you have, most radios have a Roger beep. Right now, stop what you're doing, go and turn on the Roger beep. The Roger beep, which is that little satisfying beep at the end of your transmission, you can make it at the beginning, at the end, or both. Usually you put it on at the end. That little beep is what tells the ham radio operators that you're serious about using your radio, and they really appreciate that. You do get Roger beep on the LITE version. You don't get it on the Pro. The other difference is that channels 1 through 7 only transmit at 2.5 watts or something like that instead of 5.5 watts that the Pro does. There might be some other minor differences. I'm sure if there are, you will leave comments pointing them out because they're evading my mind at the moment. They're minor differences. And yes, I am holding it by the antenna. Keep your stupid comments to yourself. Like any FCC Part 95 GMRS radio, it comes pre-programmed with the 22 standard GMRS channels and 8 repeater channels. Because this radio is marketed and sold really for preppers and emergency use, it comes with almost 900 pre-programmed channels for listening, scanning, every channel or frequency that you can imagine for every federal, state, local agency that you can imagine. I think it came with 876 pre-programmed channels. It's got IRS, federal marshals, they're not even, you can hit the scan button, scan through all of those or set up groups or, delete the ones that you don't need. You can scan through them all and use it like a scanner. They're not going to help you get toilet paper at the grocery store, but for other emergencies, can come in handy. Radio has a total of 999 channels that you can program yourself. You can delete some of those 876 that it comes with and put your own in. Like the other Wouxun radios, it's got the super heterodyne circuitry. It does not have the cheap radio on a chip or SoC like the cheaper radios have. That means better sensitivity in receiving, and the thing that I like most, really the biggest difference between the super heterodyne radios and the cheaper ones is that the squelch actually works. Many radios, I won't say their names, Baofeng, the squelch is just useless, near useless. The screen is really high resolution, and there's a lot going on this screen. So there's a lot of information, a lot of stuff you can do. It's one reason that, for me, this wouldn't be the best radio to jump out of my Jeep and run up and down the trail because there's just too much stuff going on. But for a prepper, emergency type situations, that can all be very useful. I'm going to take the antenna off because it's receiving a lot of stuff. It can monitor and scan 2 different frequencies at once. So it's got an upper frequency and a lower frequency. You can easily turn that off by pressing one button so that it's only dealing with one frequency. In case it gets confusing, I get confused easily. Not only can it monitor 2 frequencies individually at the same time, you can scan through 2 different sets of frequencies at the same time. It's got 2 push to talk buttons, so you can talk on either the upper or lower frequency on the screen, channel A or channel B. These side buttons are programmable, so you can change what they do. If you don't like it to be push to talk A and B or whatever, you can change what they do. It's got the LED flashlight that I always make fun of on almost all radios I review. I always say you're never going to need that LED flashlight until you need it, and then you're going to be glad you have it. It's got FM radio, so you can listen to just regular FM music radio or whatever. It receives basically all UHF and VHF bands except for cell phone bands. So you can monitor just about anything, monitor and scan through just about any frequency. And that includes the AM air band. I don't think I've reviewed another radio that is able to receive AM air bands. If I have and I didn't know it, someone's going to leave a comment and set me straight. That's fine. But I don't think any other radios do that. So that can also be very useful for the preppers. Listen to what those airplanes are talking about when they're spraying their chemicals over the population. IP55 water and dust resistant. I read that they will be coming up with an IP67 water and dust proof version, but for now this is IP55, so it's fairly rugged, water resistant, almost waterproof and dust resistant, so you can use it outside without worrying about messing it up. The 3200 milliamp hour battery that the website says will last 24 hours. I've had mine on for longer than that, and it's still got about half left. I haven't been transmitting on it very much, though. I did my range test. I connected to a couple of repeaters. So if you're transmitting, that's going to suck the battery down a lot faster. It's got a lot of power saving options that you can enable to make the battery last longer. LCD will automatically go into a lower brightness mode. You can have it turn all the way off while it's scanning and when you're not talking on it. So a lot of options. You can suck even more time out of the battery. So you've got your antenna connection, channel changing knob and volume, the LED light I mentioned, and transmit and receive lights, cable connection to optionally connect to your computer for programming. It is not yet Chirp compatible, but Wouxun has their software you can use, PC only. So if you're on a Mac, you have to do the programming by hand. Not the simplest to program by hand. It's not impossible, but if you get this, you're gonna have to read the manual. Okay, this is not a grab it and go, take it out of the box and start using it. Or you could start using it, but to really use any of the features, you're gonna have to set aside a few minutes and read the manual. Speaking of the manual, allow me to read some passages. It's getting serious. Page 45, memory channel. When the transceiver works in the channel mode, it is able to copy all the parameters except the channel names into specified channels. When the transceiver works in the frequency mode, set the offset frequencies, shift direction, and other parameters ahead. Then save into the specified channels. Same frequency saved in one channel. I thought I was having a stroke when I read through that the first time. Page 24. Note, there is a 10-second TOT, timeout timer, punishment when the transmitting time beyond the limited time. It is invalid to press the PTT. The TOT punishment is effective for the keypad transmission and Vox transmission. All right, first edition of the manual, brand new radio, first revision of the manual. They do say on the website, they know the manual needs to be updated, so they're aware of it. They're going to be issuing a new one. It's been addressed. It does not have USB charging, so the only way you can charge it is through the charger. So you'll need 120 volts to plug it into or some kind of converter that you can plug into the charger. I don't know if they sell that at the website. I'm sure they will be selling a cigarette lighter adapter if they don't already. So not the simplest radio. There's a lot going on, not a grab and go type radio. You got to take a few minutes. You have to invest 15 minutes of your life to learn how to use it, so it's not hugely difficult. But again, it's not a grab and go type radio that you can just take out of the box and start using. It took me 10 minutes to figure out how to change the FM radio station on it so I could listen to my gospels and find out what Xenu was up to. It is a good quality, water and dust resistant, if not waterproof design. It feels good in the hand. This radio is extremely popular. I had more people asking to do a review on this radio before it ever came out than any other radio. And when I checked last night at bettersaferadio.com, it was sold out, or they were only taking pre-orders. I think the LITE version was sold out and they're still taking the pre-orders on the Pro version. Put your order in now. If you keep waiting for it to be available before you put your order in, you're never going to get one. It's very popular. All the GMRS radios are popular now. Thanks, Biden. Now, I'm going to be playing with this more over the next few weeks. I'm going to take it out on the trail, see how it works on the trail. I'll be doing a update in a few weeks. I'm going to try to get my hands on the Pro version. I'll do another review when I get that and have more information because this review is a little bit light on details because I just got the radio. I'm still figuring out how to use it. Affiliate link below directly to the bettersaferadio.com website to this page. If you use my coupon code at checkout, not a Rubicon, you'll get an additional discount. If you have questions about this radio, please leave them in the comments below. I may not be able to answer it, but I will write down all those questions, and then as I play with this more, or when I get the Pro version in that review, I'll give an update and I'll try to address those questions. Thank you for watching. We hope to see you on the trail.